Hey, look, obviously we get really excited about Spooktober because we're massive horror movie fans, aren't we?
Oh, both of us, yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's another thing we're a fan of, which is epic Christmas movies, and that's why I've got some good news for you. Dolph Lundgren stars in the Talking Dogs comedy Pups Alone, and it has a subtitle, Operation One Rough Christmas. What do you think of that?
Operation One Rough Christmas, wow.
Because it's like rough, like a dog.
No, I got it, don't worry. Wow, I mean, I can't wait for that. I know you were very annoyed at Resident Evil coming out at Christmas.
Yes.
So thank God you've got this movie to balance it out.
Yeah. It also says prepare for some hilarious canine holiday antics.
Oh, I'm always prepared for that. But
yeah.
So that's your cold open, Michael. I'm bringing something to this cold open, which is The Many Saints of Newark was released recently, and apparently it's really bad. And I think I just saw this clip and I absolutely loved it. It's how long is this clip? It's like 3 seconds, but you'll enjoy it. Okay, so here we go. See if you can hear it.
Want to be on a football team in high school and you're smoking already? Oh! Want to be on a football team and you're smoking already? Oh! Want to be on a football team in high school and you're smoking already? Oh!
So this is the it's the Sopranos thing, right?
Yeah, the Sopranos. Yeah. Really, if of course this is the start of Spooktober, and it really is absolutely chilling that the greatest TV show of all time, some say The Sopranos, has produced a movie that is, by all accounts, awful. So yeah, and do you know what I say to that, Michael?
You say what? Oh, okay.
That's what I say to that. One more time. There we go. Right, let's get into Halloween.
Yeah, if only they'd made the Sopranos movie a Christmas movie.
Shut up.
Hello and welcome to Select and Reflect, the movie review podcast where we look at films that have come out in the near and distant past, we give them a couple of watches and evaluate them beyond first impressions. I'm your host Michael and I'm joined as always by my co-host Luke, and this week we are beginning Spooktober, where we look at scary films in the run-up to Halloween. And obviously, usually we kind of start off, I think, with a film that's related to a film that's being released. And in this case, we are going to be celebrating the upcoming release of, I believe, Halloween Kills, which is the second film in this continuity, beginning with the 2018 remake of Halloween. So we're going to be looking at the 2018 remake of Halloween. Felt like I really took my time getting there. So Luke, why don't you tell us a thing or two about the 2018 remake, Halloween?
Yeah, sure. You said we normally start off by doing like a upcoming...
Yeah, in my head that was true, but maybe that's not true.
This is just not true. It's just because it's
just
coming out. Yeah, it's coming out, well, maybe sometimes, because if you were to do a Halloween movie, it would come out like mid-October, not actually on Halloween. And of course, this is, so we do things 1 week before the movie actually comes out. So yeah, maybe it makes sense that we're doing Halloween because of the release of Halloween Kills, or any horror movie in this particular juncture. But anyway, so Halloween 2018, of course, like you said, Michael, we're doing it because of the upcoming release of Halloween Kills.
You know what? I called it a remake, but it's not actually a remake, is it? So I'm a liar. It just happens.
Oh, you said it was a remake.
Name. Yeah, I don't know why I said that.
Well, just
because it has the same name.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously I've seen the film and I know it's not a remake.
Yeah, you're absolutely incorrect, Michael. It is very different to the first. Extremely different. It is a sequel, of course. It has
the same characters.
Yes, the 1978 Halloween, and this Halloween is a 2018. How many times have we said Halloween in the first?
Quite a few.
Halloween. We are doing the movie Halloween, which is a remake of Halloween because it's Halloween soon. There you go, you got it. So Halloween is a 2018 American slasher film directed by David Gordon Green and written by Green, Jeff Fradley, and Danny McBride. What number, Michael, is this in the Halloween franchise?
Oh, I think...
Because it's not number 2, is it? Even though they'd like you to think it's number 2, but it's not.
Yes. I kind of feel like, in my head, there were maybe like 7 or 8 films in the original continuity, then obviously they had the two actual remake films. So that would make this, I guess, 10 or 11?
It is 11.
Hey!
It is 11.
I know too much about the Halloween films, clearly.
And it's a direct sequel to the 1978 film of the same name, while affecting a retroactive continuity of all previous sequels, which of course we'll get onto in a bit. It stars Jamie Lee Curtis and Nick Castle, who reprise their roles as Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. God, those two must be the best of friends. They've worked together so many times. So it also stars Judy Greer, Andy Matichak, Will Patton, Virginia Gardner, Haluk my God, Bill Gnia and James Jude Courtney. There we go. The release date was October 19th, 2018 in the United States. So yeah, almost 3 years ago. And Michael, can you tell me what the budget was for Halloween 2018?
Well, I mean, I feel like horror films don't have massive budgets. Also, I mean, this was a Blumhouse film, right? And they don't have big budgets. So maybe like, oh God, it's going to be too low. In my head, I really am thinking maybe 8 million.
You know what? It is too low, but it's 10 to 15.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not that bad. Don't worry, Michael. What about the box office?
I have absolutely no idea, but obviously, I mean, they've got 2 sequels greenlit, I believe I'm right in saying, which is weird. So based on that, I mean, surely this film did well. Now, obviously, I'm going to employ the logic of like, well, it was a 10 million budget, so or 10, 15, so it could have done well while not making a huge amount. But 100 million?
Oh my God, you're so bad at this. So how do you 255?
200.
Very famous franchise getting a big reboot with, you know, the 2 main characters coming back. You know.
Yeah, I mean, see, okay, this is the one reason why in my head I'm like, that seems surprising. Just because of the fact that I feel like it's probably true to say that a lot of the people who would go to watch horror films at the cinema are the kind of people who wouldn't actually be that interested necessarily in a film from the 1980s. I don't know. I mean, sorry, 1978. I don't know, yeah, like, that's a lot. I feel like that's a lot of money for a horror film.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the fact is, I'm surprised you guessed that.
Well, okay, here's the thing though. Okay, I'm gonna look up how much the Friday the 13th remake made.
Okay,
which was
you don't do that. But this Halloween is one of the most famous movies of all time. Horror movies of all time. I guess maybe you could say one of the most famous movies of all time. I'd say more so than Friday the 13th.
Okay, yeah. Well, interestingly, actually, Friday the 13th, the remake, which obviously is what I'm looking at, made 92.7 million.
Yeah, but
so
it's not Halloween.
I tell you what, if we were talking about the remake to Friday again, I keep acting as if this is a remake. It's not a remake. I think you maybe even said the word remake.
Maybe you know what, I might have, but if I didn't, then you can go fuck yourself for implying.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you quite possibly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm probably wrong. But yeah, I mean, it's just really hard not to call it a remake because it's called Halloween and it's a film.
Okay, well, let's get into whether we liked the movie or not, Michael. Did you like Halloween? You
know what? I overall would say I liked this film, but it wasn't like there was nothing about it that blew me away, and there definitely were some moments that I found pretty silly. Overall, I was willing to excuse them because I think I kind of expect that from a horror film. There was nothing like uniquely.
Oh, do you? You kind of expect that, even though in our last review, our Halloween review from last year of the 1978 film, you went on like a 30-minute rant about all the plot holes and all the things you do differently to the characters.
Yeah, well, I mean, see, here's the thing though. Like, I think that sometimes films can go too far. And to be fair, actually, here's the thing. I think I may actually end up going on a more modest rant about a portion of this film. I think the thing is, the only issue is, it's like, it gets to a certain point. Like, that's always my attitude. Like, I don't expect horror films to be perfect. So, like, horror films can get away with a lot more, but I just have my limits, that's all. But with that said, I actually overall did like this film. So
okay, well,
that's my opinion.
Thank fuck for that. I am going to say that I dislike this film, I would say.
I kind of thought you might say that. Mostly because I was thinking, I bet that I didn't really like Halloween, the original. So I was like, I bet Luke's going to not like this film as much.
Yeah, I just felt it was...
derivative?
Derivative is a good word. You know, yeah, that's a better word than I was going to come up with. So yeah. We'll go with that. Anyway, how many nitpicks do you have?
2.
I have 1. So does that mean I go first?
Yes.
That means I go first. Okay, so Laurie Strode apparently, even though she hates... Well, she doesn't, I don't know if she hates Haddonfield, but that's where her trauma is, and she's just decided to build a life there, stay there, like, throughout all these years and never move away.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, my first one was a Laurie one too. It's just that, like, she has all of these locks on her door, and then you look around and you think her windows look really easy to kind of get into, and it's, you know, it's fine, like, obviously, and maybe she did have, like, a way of securing her windows that was shown later on. I wasn't paying attention, but I was just thinking to myself, like, she's got all of these bolts on her door and all that stuff, and you just think, Michael Myers, considering who he is, could just smash through her windows so easily, so she's wasting all that time unlocking her doors for nothing. And then, yeah, my second one is, I'll read it exactly as I wrote it. How you finna cheat on your girl at the party she's at?
How you gonna finna?
How you finna? Do you know finna?
Yeah, I know finna.
Yeah, how you finna cheat on your girl at the party she's at?
I don't know how finna is how that slang got created. It's a real mystery.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so obviously it comes from, I don't know if you know this, but it comes from fixing to. Like,
okay. Well, that
so
makes
like,
more sense.
How are you fixing to cheat on your girl?
Right.
Anyway, so basically, yeah, it was just, I was thinking to myself, like, at the end of the day, you know, like, I'm sure that, you know, these men, they get about and they do all this stuff and all that. But, like, literally, she's there. Just have some sense of self-control or something.
Oh, so what? So this is the nitpick is basically he shouldn't have done that. That's stupid. This is an absolutely sensational nitpick. This.
No, but specifically when he, like, the thing is, this wouldn't be a nitpick, for example, if, like, she'd gone to a party, or they didn't know they were both at the same party, but it's literally like they were together, she disappears, and then he goes and kisses another girl, when he's literally, like, it was just, like, it's so obvious that she could come back. That's the point I'm making.
You know, Michael, yeah, he's a teenager. You know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm being too harsh on the guy, but it's only because I care about him.
Yeah, okay, yeah. My big nitpick. Well, it's not really a nitpick. I was going to talk about it. He doesn't get any comeuppance. Like the storyline is so pointless. With.
Oh yeah, actually, that's weird, isn't it?
It's like you didn't watch this movie at all, eh?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I mean, as I kind of have already said, lots of people in this film die.
He doesn't.
And because of that, it's kind of it was hard for me to think about all the people who didn't die.
Well, he doesn't. It's a major point in the movie, or you'd think so, but it just doesn't, turn up. He doesn't turn up again, and that.
So you could say it subverted your expectations.
The thing is, yes, it did, but as we have talked about many times, that doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, so now maybe your opinion of the movie is changing, and it's like, oh yeah, this is a pile of shit.
I don't know. I mean, I will agree with you, but to be fair, I wouldn't say it's like the biggest thing, but we can, I don't know, yeah. I mean, it's definitely an interesting kind of strange oversight, just like I say, considering how many people Michael Myers mows through.
Okay. Yes.
Anyway,
we'll get
let's talk about, speaking of him mowing through a lot of people, he's also mowed through a lot of people in the 7 other films, the 7 other films that he's been in. Not 7 other films, obviously. Well, how's the continuity with this, Luke? You're the expert.
The continuity is quite interesting. So, after the release of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2nd, the 2009 sequel to the 2007 remake of the original, 2 consecutive follow-ups went into development from former rights holder Dimension Films, respectively, but neither achieved fruition. As a result, the studio lost the rights to the intellectual property, which were later obtained by who, Michael?
Universal.
No.
Huh?
No.
Blumhouse.
Yeah. I guess Blumhouse is part of Universal in some capacity.
Yeah.
Blumhouse, with John Carpenter's involvement. Carpenter, who disagreed with the remake's portrayal of lead killer Michael Myers, planned on helping the studio to make the next Halloween film into what he believed to be more terrifying than the preceding sequels. Did he do a good job of that? Well, let's the critics decide. No, I don't know. I don't think so. But anyway, I think, who did a good sum up of this, Michael? And I'm going to reference this later on in the movie, or this video review, I guess. It's Jay from Red Letter Media.
Oh.
So let me get it up here.
Ignores the event.
There we go. So he does it. I mean, of course you could just look this up if you wanted to.
No, that's why they come here.
Yeah, that's why everybody
We're a content aggregator.
That he would escape.
Here we go.
What the hell did you do that for?
So I can kill him. Halloween is the sequel to Halloween, but not the sequel to Halloween. Technically, it's Halloween 2, but ignores the events of Halloween 2 and Halloween 2. It's the first Halloween film to bring back Jamie Lee Curtis, except for Halloween 2, Halloween 7, and Halloween 8. But finally, the series has brought back John Carpenter in some capacity for the first time, except for Halloween 2 and Halloween 3. It's also the first Halloween film to ignore the previous films in the franchise's timeline, except for Halloween 3, Halloween 4, which ignores Halloween 3, Halloween 7, which ignores Halloween 3, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, and Halloween 6. But aside from all that, it's a totally fresh and new start for the Halloween franchise.
Only you could have written that.
Yeah. Mike?
Okay, there we go. And Mike's right. Only Jay could have written that. So he summed it up nicely. So we don't need to go into the continuity anymore.
Yeah, and it's convenient because I did send you that diagram so that we could all understand it.
Yes, but yeah, I do like it. It's just like naff. We've had so much of that shit. It just chopped, like, it's like a gangrene leg, just chopping it off, and we're just starting new again.
I mean, the thing is, obviously, like, you do have the situation with Terminator where they keep doing that, and then they keep making it worse. Like, they basically keep trying to change the continuity and then keep making worse films. Well, so that's not how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I know, okay, but this I think does well to some.
This
people.
is better than Terminator.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll say that much about it. But anyway, so let's get into the plot of Halloween 2018. Of course, the first one, I think we said, it does the job. Basically, what you'd want from a slasher movie, and of course, it inspired many, other slasher movies. It was very influential. So I'm just looking here. Okay, yeah. The plot follows a post-traumatic Laurie Strode who prepares to face Michael Myers in a final showdown on Halloween night, 40 years after she survived his killing spree. That's the description on Wikipedia, and yeah, that's it. She's just preparing to face Michael Myers. That's what it's all building up to at the end. And yeah, like, what did you think would happen if you were writing the most basic Halloween sequel possible? Michael Myers escapes. He kills people and has a final confrontation with Laurie Strode, which is exactly what happens. So, you paid for your ticket at the cinema, you sat down to watch Halloween 2018, and you got what you came for, and everyone can go home happy.
Yes, exactly. It really delivers. But actually, I mean, the interesting thing about this film is that, actually, I wish I would have paid attention to the progress bar at the bottom, but basically we've got some stuff to talk about before we even get on to Michael Myers escaping. So I guess the first question is, what did you think of the whole true crime podcast kind of hook?
So yeah, you have these true crime podcasters, Aaron, Corey, and Dana Haynes, that's their names, who visit the hospital, and during their encounter, Aaron displays the mask that Michael wore in 1978 to him. To no effect, and a good idea I think would be, show it to his face.
Yeah, why doesn't he? Yeah, he could just walk around him. You're right.
He could do that, but he chooses not to for dramatic effect. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Like I really thought the start was quite funny because, like, the dogs are barking, all the inmates are making this sound. Michael Myers is just standing there, and then like it just cuts to Halloween, like the title card, and it's like, well, that was pretty shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit, because obviously he was like shouting. I mean, the thing is that at the same time, like, it would have been more obvious if, like, the guy would have got too close and Michael Myers would have grabbed him and killed him or something. And it's like, that would have been like a cliche.
Him, though. Just, like, grabbed...
Just threatened him, yeah.
Yeah, maybe, tried to grab the mask or something.
Yeah, that's, he could have done something. I mean, yeah, it's kind of... I mean, obviously, one of the problems you have here, and it's something which I think we might have to come back to, in fact, actually, it is actually a good segue, is the fact that, like, Michael Myers is treated as this, like, kind of infamous person, and yet, as I believe his name is Dave, I wrote with an exclamation point, I wrote, "I am Dave!" Because, of course, and I hope his name is Dave, because, anyway, basically, he has the whole line about, well, he just killed a bunch of people with a knife, he killed 5 people with a knife, and then he's been in prison for 40 years. It's not really that big of a deal, is it? Like, he has that line. And obviously, like, it's one of those things where, of course, if it happens, like, if you're the individual to whom it happens, there's no downplaying that. But from the perspective of, like, the world, from the perspective of, like, the culture, this idea that Michael Myers is, like, this infamously horrendous guy is a bit difficult to take seriously. And I suppose, like, the beginning tries to lean into that in a way where, like, that was one of the issues I had of it. It's like, they're like, oh, is Michael Myers just the worst person ever? And it's kind of like, I mean... Yeah, I'm with Dave. Especially when you consider how they've stripped the continuity right back to just the original film. He's not insanely, like, incredible as a mass murderer. So yeah, I was just gonna say, like, they tried to set him up in the beginning as like this guy who's like so scary that just having somebody shout at him as he stands there eerily is enough of a hook for the film. And I was like, yeah, that doesn't quite land for me.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. I think the fact that he wears a mask and killed somebody when he was 6 years old probably elevates him a bit.
Yeah, I wonder how many people have killed people when they were 6.
Exactly.
We need that as a Wikipedia page.
And
youngest killers.
Yeah, and of course it was his sister, and he just kept plowing the knife in. So yeah, there is something different about him. And of course the mask, in the world of horror, masks are pretty common, but of course in real life it wouldn't be. Or to wear a mask like, specifically like that. Because you can wear a mask to not get caught, but if you wear the same mask over and over again, like, there's no point, because people will didn't know how you put on the mask. But anyway, yeah, I get what he's saying. Yeah, I think that there could have been something to that maybe if they fleshed it out a bit more. It's like, this guy just killed, these young millennials nowadays are like, yeah, we have to deal with school shootings every day. There's nothing can scare us really. This Michael Myers, he's 40 years ago. He's a fucking he's a boomer, And
it did feel a little bit meta.
Well, that's the thing. Then you can have this, exactly, make it a meta element, and then he have characters maybe openly state that more than just fucking Dave did, and that could be a theme. And then Michael Myers comes back and he's like, no, I'm the real deal, kids. I'm gonna fucking kill you all. I'm gonna maybe he goes into the school fucking dance and just kills a bunch of people.
I was going to say he goes into school dance and just fucking dance, has a little dance site.
Yeah,
the ending to Daddy's Home.
Yeah, the music is really loud, and he everybody's moving. Well, obviously everybody's dancing, and he's just moving, killing people. Of course, he's wearing it's Halloween, so he's wearing a mask, and nobody
incorporating it into the dance moves.
Yeah, exactly.
Like doing a robot and stabbing people.
He's not doing that, but other people think maybe he is doing that.
No,
so therefore, he kills just 20 people and nobody notices. I don't know. It's just so all these kids are like, oh shit, this guy's the real deal, and you can, this meta element can be added. But that was something, I guess, again, another perhaps missed opportunity, but we did just kind of come up with that. But anyway, let's talk about Michael.
I was going to say, do you know what would have been good if he went into the school, and coincidentally there was a school shooting happening. So he goes in there.
He teams up.
And then this guy, this will teach you to bully. Oh yeah, teaming up, that's better.
He teams up, or he kills the school shooter, and then everybody's like, oh yeah, thank you for saving us, and then he just kills the rest of them instead with his knife.
Or he just goes with it, he gets celebrated the hero, just okay, fine. That's how
but it would
redemption
work,
story.
It would work with the theme. It's the school shooter you're all afraid of, I'll kill him, then I'll kill all of you to prove I'm the real, I'm the biggest threat there can be, you fucking millennials.
Yeah, I think I should have a scene where a millennial snowflake gets offended by a microaggression, and then Michael Myers comes and kills them to show them that actually you can't complain about somebody, I don't know, touching your afro, because I think people get stabbed.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll I think these kids would be Gen Z actually, because they would.
Oh yeah, that is actually true. Yeah,
in 2000. I think.
Yeah, because they're teenagers in 2018.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but anyway, so let's talk about Laurie Strode now, Michael. So in Haddonfield, Laurie Strode is still living in fear of Michael. She's drinking heavily, rarely leaves her fortified house, and alienating herself from her daughter Karen, whom the state took away from her age 12. So this direction, I was like, okay, I guess. The thing is, of course, I'm aware of the Halloween sequels.
Yes.
I don't know if I've seen any of them, maybe, but there's so many, they all blend together. But basically, she's not obviously traumatized in some of them. She's not like this, how she is in this movie. So therefore, it's a bit of a weird direction, I guess, in that respect. If you just forget all the rest of the movies, which of course this movie is trying to make sure you do, then I guess it makes sense. It is interesting inherently that she is damaged by this trauma. But the issue I have is that she's seen as crazy, and this, she's clearly not well. She breaks down at a restaurant with her family, but then she is proved absolutely 100% correct. She was right to fortify her house, and train.
So this film vindicates crazy people.
That's what I'm thinking. This film literally vindicates the craziness of Laurie Strode.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Well, what I was going to say, actually, is kind of funny, is that this whole thing is a bit like in Terminator 2, where Sarah Connor's in a psychiatric hospital because she was obsessed with being able to defend against Terminators. So how much does this film want to rip off Terminator? First of all, they have the whole messing with the continuity thing. Now they have the crazy person who is scarred from the events of the first film. But, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot kind of with her being crazy. It's quite a substantial part of the film, really.
Yeah, but that's the problem, I think. It's a substantial part, which is why this movie isn't great. It's a substantial part, and then it's she was actually absolutely correct to be paranoid as she was. Yeah, everyone else who was trying to live their normal life and, move on with things, fucking idiots, they should be constantly, looking over their shoulder or peering out the window to check if Michael Myers is coming, because he is coming, and he took 40 years.
I mean, yeah, I suppose, if what they should have done, because I'm kind of okay with, the idea of, I'm okay with her being crazy, and I'm okay with Michael Myers escaping, obviously, because otherwise there wouldn't be a film, and obviously, within that context, it's kind of a good thing she was crazy if Michael Myers escaped. I guess they could have been hey, but actually, being crazy for as long as you were probably wasn't a good thing. And yeah, I agree with that. I mean, overall, I think, to be honest, getting a kind of moral message about the implications of being crazy is not, it's not something that like bothers me too much.
Well, it's not about a moral message. It's just the movie clearly portrays her as damaged, and she is aloof, and she, but then she's the hero at the end. So what is this movie trying to say? That's the point. It's contradictory. If it's like, oh no, yeah, you shouldn't be like this, Laurie Strode. She's damaged.
Yeah,
inhibits her from connecting with her family. But then at the end, it's like, no, she was right all along though. So
yeah, I mean, I was going to say, yeah, actually, I mean, to be honest, like, when we get to talking about the ending is where I've got most of my criticisms of the film. So in a sense, it's kind of like, I would say I agree with you. But yeah, I think as far as like the film progressing, at the beginning, it's good. And actually, for example, I would say that her being crazy sometimes actually works decently well, like her being at the restaurant. That felt like, it was kind of like, I actually thought that scene of her at the restaurant felt very genuine, where it was like, because I imagine if you're like a crazy person, you probably do just start like,
yeah, no, I'm sure it is.
So, yeah,
it is genuine, but the point is,
no, I get what you're saying, and
then it's like, oh yeah, she had, she was right though to, be this crazy, because eventually, all that shit she was talking about Michael Myers, it came true. Anyway, so let's talk about the fact. Well, another issue with this plot is the granddaughter of Laurie Strode. She is called Alison, I believe, unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, oh, that's terrible. Yes. No, I'm joking. I know that's not your criticism. I just liked it. The granddaughter, she is called Alison. Oh, right, yeah. 2 out of 10.
No, so she is, of course, well, she wants to connect more with Laurie Strode, her grandmother, obviously, and she sees her outside, like...
outside the school?
Yeah, outside.
Like what Michael Myers is in the first. Did you catch that?
I did. You know what? I did catch that, Michael.
Yeah, it was kind of obvious.
Yeah, it was very obvious. But so she wants to connect with, her, and does that. That was the thing with the first, like, half of the movie. It's like, yeah, my mum thinks she's crazy, but I want her, to. I want to get to know her. I want, her to come to my whatever the fuck she was doing. I can't remember what they said, but
yeah, what was it she was doing?
I don't know, but she did something, and she was very good at it. And her grandmother didn't come, but she wants to have a better relationship with her. But the problem then is that resolved, or is this like plot thread resolved at the end of the movie? Like, not really, because after that restaurant scene, where she's the one that goes outside to with her grandmother. Like, they only see each other one time more, which is at the very end of the movie when they're killing Michael Myers. So it's like, does this relationship come to a good conclusion? Not really, no. There's no, like, payoff at the end. Is there? Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, sorry, yeah, there isn't really, or there isn't at all. Definitely, I mean, the thing is, with a lot of these films, it's definitely true that, like, it's common to have character stuff at the beginning, and then there just isn't really character stuff once the action starts. Well, I think that's, which, specifically, obviously that's not an excuse, but... Yeah, well, yeah, thank God you're not making an excuse for this movie, Michael, thank God. But
you're welcome.
Yeah, but the thing is, obviously, the granddaughter, we mentioned, obviously, the boyfriend thing, which just disappears halfway through the movie. Again, her relationship with, Laurie Strode, her grandmother, just, again, completely disappears. And, this granddaughter, I thought she was going to... you think, she's going to be quite a central part to the movie.
Yeah.
And then, at the end, she's just running through the woods, and Michael Myers doesn't go after her, and it's like, oh yeah, she's kind of forgotten about. It's just, like, really weird how she seems like she's going to be this important character, and then it's like, no, actually, it's really about Laurie Strode and, probably her daughter, Karen.
Yeah.
The mother, not the grandmother, the mother. She's, at the end, she's more important. So yeah, they just completely like drop the use of her character halfway through the movie. So yeah, again, another not great again, I have to say. We've had a string of these complaints now, and also, let's get into how Michael escapes now. Michael.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, as he's being transferred, he crashes the bus, and then kills a father and son for their car, and returns to Haddonfield, and we don't see it. We don't see that happen, and I was wondering why we didn't see it, and of course later it makes sense why.
Yes,
because there's a twist, but of course, anything else to say about the escape before we talk?
I have something to say about the escape.
Go on,
and it's this. Okay, so I thought that Laurie was going to attack the van to try to kill him, And it's funny because even the thing that said later on in the film, obviously after I already knew that didn't happen, was like vindicating that, because she was like, I prayed he'd escape, so I don't know why I'm giving her this voice even though it's not a voice at all. I prayed he'd escape so I could kill him. And I was thinking to myself like, yeah, she's crazy, she's completely jumped up, he's about to escape. It shows her in the car watching the van leave, right? Like, yeah. So I was thinking to myself, oh, and I think literally over that they play like the old doctor saying like that his suggestion was that Michael Myers needed to be killed. So I was thinking, oh, they're setting up the fact Michael Myers needs to be killed. They're showing Laurie, we know Michael Myers needs to escape. Obviously what's going to happen is her crazed desire to get closure, because she only believes she can get closure from killing Michael Myers. So her closure is going to mean that she doesn't want him to just go to a new facility. She wants to kill him. So in trying to kill him, to put him down for good, she's going to lead to him escaping. And I was like, yes, that makes sense. And it didn't happen. So I was annoyed at that.
Do you know what? That is a really interesting thing you've brought up. That is a really, so she makes sure that Michael Myers can escape. But the problem, of course, with that is that if Michael Myers does escape, then all the people that he kills, Laurie Strode is responsible for that.
Yeah.
And
I guess the thing is
you want her to be the heroine or the hero, then you can't really do that. Although I do think that if you don't mind about that, which, you know, that would be great if you didn't mind about that, and then it doesn't become like simple, you know, because then you're making a movie that's not very simple, because this movie is very simple. Like Laurie Strode, she confronts, she's the good girl, she's the heroine, she kills Michael Myers, who's the bad evil guy. Now, if you're making it about that, then it's like, oh, this is more complicated, but then you have to like pay that off, and then that, you know, you can't just have the ending, because then it's like, oh, so Laurie Strode literally is responsible for like several deaths in this movie, and basically whoever wrote this, you know, it's clear they wanted a very safe movie. That would not be a safe concept for the movie, would it?
I mean, the other thing I was just going to say is that obviously if that did happen, I think you would need to have a kind of like an arc where
I don't think you could have an arc.
Well, I was going to say, well, no, not necessarily complete, but basically she recognizes that her, you know, obsession with Michael Myers and killing him was wrong. And obviously, you know, like you say, you would still. I don't think
recognize that. To be
honest. I don't think that would be. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, the only other
if she's taking that drastic action, then I don't think she's past the point of no return there, and she'd just have to be considered. If you're doing sequels, which of course they are, she'd have to be like a damaged character herself, and like she's partly evil, which again is interesting, an interesting concept, but they just weren't going to do that with it.
Yeah. I just want to say two other things really quick about The Escape. One positive, one negative. One, I always respect films that have children just being murdered in them. Obviously, I'm referring to the fact that he's basically a kid. The guy who's with his dad.
The gay kid.
Just dies. And then
I just
the other
dance, Dad.
Yeah.
That his neck dances.
Yeah. And the other one is like no police escort for the crazy van. I'm pretty sure whenever they transfer prisoners, they've got to have more than one vehicle as like part of it. You would think. That just seemed.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert, but you would think they would.
I think that's normal. And these people, like only Michael Myers apparently was the really. Like,
that's the other funny thing. Yeah,
the other bunch were just like a bunch of crazy people
collecting butterflies, I think.
But anyway, so let's talk about this. So, Michael Myers on his killing spree, because he does really go on a killing spree. And this is when
he kills a lot of people.
This is all the character stuff at the beginning. Like it's okay, but it doesn't get paid off really, in my opinion. So it just becomes shit. But this, when Michael Myers starts killing people, then it's like, okay, this movie starts to get better. Obviously, he doesn't kill the baby. So
yes,
there you go.
I had that.
I think I like to think that if you're making like a cut off for him, like he kills the kid but not the baby, he kills, and he doesn't kill the kids when he's outside because people will see him do it. You know, and he wants to kill like silently. That's what that's his first priority.
Yes,
and obviously, you know, when did he kill his sister?
When she was in her room at night.
Well, when he was 6 years old.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, and that's the point. So anybody under 6, but anybody over 6, I am killing you because I've killed, so you're not innocent. Basically, maybe that's where.
Well, that's a good rule actually.
Yeah, but anyway, so he also he kills. My favorite death is probably when he kills the fat kid. Well, he's not that fat, you know.
You mean the friend zone guy?
Yeah, the guy that gets friend zoned. Yeah.
Yeah.
When he said, "Did you ever had a girl you really liked?" You know, and I don't know. I just like that. That was a good line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. It felt like a very kind of classic horror movie moment where like the fat loser kid just dies. It reminded me of in Unfriended when the guy gets killed by the blender. I don't know if you've seen it, but in Unfriended, there's this fat guy, and literally, he's just like a fat guy. That's his thing. He's like the fat comic relief guy, and then he gets killed by a blender.
Yeah, I mean, sounds great. I have to say, you clearly like that.
So I like this, and yeah,
that's one of houses and kills people.
Yeah, that's one of the last like kills in this proper killing spree, I think. Because before, like, it's hard to remember like the houses he walks, because he like walks into some random, like, some woman gets a call, and then she gets like stabbed in the neck. That's obviously before he sees the baby, or is it? And then he just kills the woman with a hammer too. And then obviously he kills the babysitter. The killing the babysitter, that's obviously a more substantial thing.
Yes, because they're friends with her, just like in the first movie,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Friend of the Strode, I guess, family. Yeah.
That was very similar.
They're trying to have sex, obviously. They're babysitting, and they get killed. Just like poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah. Also, hold on, it wasn't the guy literally suspended off the ground by a knife too?
Yes, he
was.
Which
is literally what happens in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it is like poetry.
But I mean, to be fair, it is. You could imagine that a serial killer would actually have a certain things he likes to repeat. So
yeah,
within that
like
context,
poetry, but rhymes.
Yeah, I think these serial killers are poetic.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. I mean,
did you
it was fun.
The younger black kid, who's
you know what I liked him.
Yeah, he's like, go. I like when he was saying to Dave, go upstairs. You know, because she doesn't want he doesn't want Vicky, that's her name, the blonde haired girl to die. So I like that bit. It's like, no, I want to keep her alive. So you go upstairs, and then of course she does, and then she gets killed. Then Dave dies. Yeah. The thing is with him,
he runs away.
Sorry?
The black kid runs away, presumably, and just survives?
Yeah, he does. Apparently he just survives. But yeah, of course there's some meta aspect of like, he knows what's going on, he knows what's happening. Yeah. So that's fun. But the thing is with Dave, like, he says, fuck this shit, and he grabs this knife.
Yeah.
And then he dies.
Yeah.
And we don't see what, so I was a bit, presumably he tried to kill Michael Myers. But they just didn't decide to show it.
I felt sorry for that, because I thought, you'd like to see, it kind of reminds you of in Predator when they have that big build up to it's like one of the last guys with a machete is like, I'm going to take this predator out, and he's like really building up, and then you just hear him die off screen. I don't think you even see him, he just screams. And it's like, well, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, I do have something to say though on somebody, well, here's the thing, I think him killing everybody is good, but I kind of wish he just, so the podcasters, like, they're in it for like, they're just in it basically for him to get his mask back.
Yeah.
And of course he gets his mask back. But wouldn't it be great if he didn't kill them? Because they're a pointless kill, really. Like, they don't, killing them doesn't really add anything.
Also, they could have been like a fun aspect to it. Like, you could have just had them like narrating kind of the podcast.
That's literally what I was thinking, Michael. That's literally what I was thinking. Like, them following along, and then maybe they get killed at the end. But yeah, them basically trying to follow what's going on with Michael Myers. And that would have been fun, but they don't. They just get killed immediately. And when they got killed, I was like, oh, well, that's a bit of a shame. You kind of missed something that could have been fun there. I was hoping they didn't die. I was like, please stay alive so you can podcast this, and that would be fun. But that did not happen.
It was, and also they were British, and we love to see British people be alive.
Could I go to the loo? Even though she's been in America for a while, I presume.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
So she wouldn't say that. It should have been a nitpick.
Yeah. Also, I feel like I'm surprised she said she went to restroom. I would say toilet, because that's the more universal one. But no, she says bathroom, doesn't she? Not restroom.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's a very American.
Yeah, exactly. They say bathroom, which is really funny. Also, okay, while we're working our way backwards, kind of backwards, what happened to the guy's face? Who, when in the garage, like the guy who's like on the counter, and it's like, it almost seems as if like he's got, like, the guy who's on the desk and he's dead, and it's like there's something wrong with his jaw, and I was like, did his jaw get ripped off? And I was like, this isn't a positive or a negative or anything, but I was just sat there thinking to myself, I really want to know what actually killed that guy, because it looks as if his face is just
you're gonna
messed
have to
up.
guess, Michael. You're gonna have to guess.
Disappointing.
But anyway, let's talk about.
I thought you'd be an expert.
Let's talk about, of course, like I said, there could have been a couple more kills.
Sorry, I do have a nitpick for this starts getting people actually killing spree.
We're done with nitpicks, so you're not going to.
Sorry, I didn't mean nitpick. I just meant, sorry, what I meant was, it wasn't a nitpick, it was a big thing. It's on the news, so like it's kind of weird, like, that you don't have everybody knowing about it, because they have the news about, like, they literally report on the police van escaping.
One of the police officers says, I'm not going to cancel Halloween, so...
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know, see, the thing is, they weren't as explicit about it as they were in the first film. In the first film, obviously, they very explicitly say, like, we're not going to tell people about it when we cancel Halloween. In this case, it's kind of like, because they don't even say, like, we're not going to put out a general warning, I was like, well, I don't know, do you just expect me to admit that they haven't? And the other thing...
There would have been tweet threads about it, don't worry.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, people, like, hashtag... microaggression. Anyway, no, the important thing is...
Oh, that's
I don't know
good.
If you're going to mention
that's good. Mike...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mike...
Michael aggression.
Michael aggression.
So I don't know if you're going to talk about this, but this is a big thing. This was the thing that really annoyed me. Laurie, when she goes to see the mum, and I can kind of maybe excuse this for her being crazy, but like she can't just come out and be like, no, literally, the prison van has escaped. You can look this up. It was on because they actually did have. Obviously, you saw this because Laurie saw it. It was on the news that the prison van had, crashed. Yeah. She could very easily say, no, literally. This is a thing you can just look up.
When she goes over to the house.
Yeah, because she kind of like, she says it and then the mum's just like, or the daughter, as it were, is like, no, you're being crazy, get out of here, you're crazy. And then she just kind of like acquiesces and just like, okay, I'll go. And it's like, no, like making your daughter understand the fact that this bus has actually crashed would potentially be the difference between like lots of people dying and not. And I was just like, considering how much Laurie's like, again, you just have to say it's because she's crazy, so she couldn't like put words together.
Yeah, maybe that is, but yeah, you're right. It is a kind of a moment where
I said she's really stupid and ambiguous, and she could just be clear and save the day. That's what I wrote.
Yeah, no, she could save the day, but yeah, no, she could, yeah, but again, like. Yeah, that is a good point. See, you're pointing out issues with this movie, Michael. Yeah, again, if she's just very clear, but you have to have this thing in movies where the character doesn't fully explain things, so naturally things go wrong. But anyway, so let's talk about the fact that the new Loomis, as Laurie Strode literally calls him, the new Loomis. I'm not even going to bother to know his name because he's the new Loomis, and that's all you need to know. Yeah. And the movie even states that he's the new Loomis. So who the fuck cares what his actual name is? Yes. So this doctor, Laurie Strode, obviously calls him that, and he appears to be the new Loomis. But there's a twist, Michael. There's a twist.
Yes.
He stops Michael from getting killed by the sheriff and shoots. And basically, the sheriff wants to shoot Michael. Yeah, and then he
stabs the sheriff.
He does. So here's the thing:
stab the sheriff.
I like that twist. I think that was good. I think that's he wants to see what Michael Myers is like in the wild, and that's why he helped crash the van because he's fascinated by Michael Myers. So I do like this twist, Michael. I have to say this is something that was interesting, and it was like okay. Yeah, I think his motivation makes sense. Didn't expect it when it happened. And yeah, of course, it makes... Because that's the thing, like, how does Michael Myers keep evading the police? Well, he gets caught, but then he gets let free again. So that all works, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, yeah, I actually, I would agree with you that, the only issue is, as you kind of already pointed out, like, the fact that he's called the new Loomis, it's kind of like, as a character, it's like an interesting twist for a character who... even within like the film's own acknowledgement, is not even that much of a kind of distinct character, and then obviously he gets his skull crushed. Yes. Which I agree with you. It is an interesting thing, and it kind of makes sense. Oh yeah, like if you're a psychologist or psychiatrist, then especially a criminal psychiatrist, you probably have like a really massive interest in this.
A foreign.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, that's true.
yeah, I'm just saying because they're the ones who like sound like the smartest. Evil. Well, yeah. Yeah. If you've got like a foreign accent and speaking,
it's alive.
Okay, but here's the thing. Like, I want to get onto this. Does Michael Myers actually care about Laurie Strode? Because this is when I'm going to bring up that Red Alert Media video again. So Jay from Red Alert Media said that Michael Myers doesn't care about Laurie Strode. The doctor basically is wrong about being fascinated with Michael Myers. Because Michael, he says to Michael Myers, we must drive you to Laurie Strode to have the final confrontation, because he wants to see what he's going to do. He's fascinated by Michael Myers. But according to what Jay said, and, this is not just him saying this alone, it is a viewpoint, but, he just espoused it. Michael Myers doesn't care about confronting her. It's just happenstance, other characters get him to that point, like the doctor literally drives towards the house. Where she lives, but why? This is what I'm like. Well, then why does Michael Myers just not drive off? When he kills the two police officers who are they're outside the Laurie Strode's house, but so he purposely baits Laurie's house with a police car.
Yes,
like he baits them, and of course the husband walks out and he kills the husband, but he could have walked away. He could have driven the police car somewhere else, but he purposely because he doesn't know there are people in that house. So he baits them. It's like, oh, come on, come outside. Here's a police car here. I'm gonna kill you. So I don't know. Maybe he heard the new Dr. Loomis say, "Hey, we're going to Laurie Strode's house." So that's like, there's Laurie Strode's house here, and maybe it's a case
it's
of
just like, I've got to find someone's house.
Yeah. It may. Oh well, there's some people in here. I'll just kill them. Or maybe it's specifically, no, I do want to kill Laurie Strode. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, you get to an interesting point, which is obviously the guy, like the new Loomis, his whole thing is like, what drives Michael Myers? And the funny thing is, you don't really find out, and it is actually something. That's the point. I think. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of.
He gets punished for asking these questions. Like, he is trying to be intellectual, and literally his brain gets smashed by trying to ask these questions.
Yeah. So I mean, because I think that's it. Basically, he's just a killer.
He's just evil.
Yeah, which of course, I think, obviously there is like a real kind of philosophical thing you could get at, but obviously I don't think this film would be the type of film to do that. About like, what, and also, I mean, like, what's his strategy? Because it's like sometimes he is literally just mowing his way through people.
Yeah, just to kill people, basically. As many people as possible, I guess, is his strategy. That's all he does, really. That's what he's about. But the thing is, what's interesting about this question is like Laurie someone who's special to him, Laurie Strode, special. Or is that this just another person to kill?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like Jay's claim in that video when when he's at Laurie's house at the end, it's like, oh, this is just another person. I'm like, well, it could be that Laurie is a bit special to him. It could be that still. It's not like completely clear. And if. The thing is,
I don't think the film has says anything about it one way or the other. Clearly,
the thing is, a theme that Laurie cares so much more about what happened 40 years ago than Michael Myers, I think, is interesting. But they don't do anything with it, and that's what Jay also pointed out. But that's the thing. I'm not sure that theme is really there in the first place, and if the theme isn't there, we then get this meta aspect. Which is basically, they have been waiting for each other for all these years, and therefore, it's also the audience has been waiting to see these two go at each other for all these years, I guess, just to getting the other sequels. And, you all know what you're here to see. This is the point in the movie at the end when he confronts Laurie Strode. Like, that's what he's been waiting for, that's what she's been waiting for. And so if the case is that Michael Myers just doesn't care, well, that meta aspect is kind of gone. And also they don't do anything interesting with it either. Like Laurie has to confront the fact that she cares so much more about this than Michael Myers, and that could have been interesting, but there is nothing like that. So yeah. They could have had a thing where she's angling for the dispute. I don't know if angling is the right word, but she really wants the confrontation, and Michael Myers just ignores her at one point, and she gets angry about that fact. But obviously the fact is there's never a moment where Michael Myers ignores her. There is never that moment.
So, no, I mean, I would say overall, it's... I mean, I guess you could say the film's almost agnostic on that question, or maybe apathetic. I don't think the film...
but it would have been
really
better if it wasn't.
It would have been better if it had... No, sorry, I get what you're saying, No, it would have been better if they actually tried to explore why is it that Michael Myers feels... I mean, if anything, you think about it, so it's she escaped, but then that black kid escaped too. Is Michael Myers gonna go after that black kid? So I mean, the question is what is it about the fact that this woman escaped from Michael Myers that's interesting? And the film really doesn't answer that. And I guess I'd kind of agree with you that you're left with the conclusion, well, it just has to be a meta thing of these two end up confronting each other because they're supposed to within the narrative of
It would be fine if it wasn't that, and you like you said, the movie is actually apathetic about things. It would be fine, if it wasn't like that, and it was Michael Myers doesn't care, but they don't go down that path. Or if they do go down that path, it's difficult to say because they take 2 steps. Because that's it. There's nothing to it. So can you really say that's the case? And you could make arguments, that show he does actually care about Laurie. But anyway, so let's get on to the final
confrontation. Yes,
between Michael and of course Laurie. So Michael strangles the husband to death. And then of course they have a fight, don't they? And Laurie goes off the balcony. And when Michael goes to check on Laurie's body, he finds it missing, which is, of course, Michael.
Yes, a reference.
A good old reference. We love those.
We love them.
Alison arrives. Alison arrives and calls out for her grandmother, luring Michael and allowing Karen to shoot him in the jaw. Laurie suddenly reappears and attacks Michael, trapping him inside a safe room with Karen and Allison's help. The trio set the house ablaze and Laurie says goodbye to Michael.
Yes.
But she begins to faint and lets her daughter and granddaughter quickly hitchhike a passerby vehicle to take her to the hospital. So all of that happens, Michael, and like you said, Laurie is kind of, again, vindicated by what happened earlier.
Yes.
You know, again, if you went down this path of like, oh yeah, she's crazy, she's deranged, and oh yeah, she actually cares far more about Michael than he does about her, and like she has this like hole in her life, and that's that whole, you know, she has this moment where she realizes it, like this epiphany. But now instead she just helps, you know, she kills Michael, or, you know, kills with, you know, a couple of
quotation marks around
quotation marks.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've got a few things to say about the ending confrontation, and one of those is the fact that they do so kind of obviously kill him in a way where he could survive. It's like their plan to kill him is no, they're not gonna shoot him in the head, unload like an entire revolver's worth of ammunition in his brain, you know, just to really test how superhuman he's supposed to be. No, they're just gonna leave him like on fire, and it's kind of like you get the impression that him being Michael Myers, which, you know, I mean, assuming it's never really been clear exactly how invulnerable he's supposed to be, which is another thing, but like generally speaking, assuming he's like just a really, you know, durable human being, even then he could just smash his way out. Like once the house is kind of burned down, I bet he can hold his breath for a while, smash his way out, get out. So yeah, it's just so obvious that they're killing him in a way where they can't take it as guaranteed that they're killing him. It's kind of like she's like, I gotta kill him once and for all. It's like, oh, you gotta kill him once for all, so you're gonna put the, you know, bullets in his brain, make sure he's dead, make sure you put him down for good. No, I'm going to leave him alive, trapped in a room that's on fire, and that's going to satisfy me. It's just like, what are you doing, Laurie?
Yeah, I mean, what are you, because they need a sequel.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, because if he dies, then is there going to be a sequel?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is, obviously, like, I'm pretty sure that with both this film and definitely the Friday the 13th films, they've been quite, you know, they've had characters die more obviously than this and still come back. But yeah, definitely in this case, it's like this isn't even remotely like. I mean, I guess the one thing you can say to its credit is they don't even have to have like some kind of stupid contrived logic of him coming back in the next film, because it's like, well, yeah, he probably would come back. Probably just got out of the house while it was burning.
Yeah, because you literally, again, you don't know how invulnerable he is, but unless you like give him a headshot, like then he's alive. Like you can fucking burn a house when he's trapped in. You can shoot him in the shoulder. You can shoot him in the jaw. You can like just punch him or stab him. He just doesn't die.
No, yeah, exactly.
He just never dies. So yeah, again, to conclude on the plot, you've got nothing else to say about the plot?
I have just two things to say.
Just two things. Okay.
Well, okay, so the first one is, it's just like an obvious thing, but like the fact that they don't stick together, like it's kind of the splitting upness of the whole like final confrontation. Again, it's kind of like it's an obvious horror movie way to make the film work, but you just think there are so many points where if there were like two of them in the room, Michael Myers would be like screwed. Or for example, when she like is getting grabbed, so she goes up to check while her daughter is downstairs in the gun room, and then she gets grabbed by Michael Myers and nearly killed. And it's like, if the daughter was there, she could just like, Michael Myers would have nothing he could do. And on the subject of Laurie and all that, considering like how, and this kind of relates to your whole you know, like her being vindicated and stuff, considering how much she's like spent her life just preparing for this moment, it's kind of unintentionally hilarious how much she just gets screwed up, like, you know, she gets thrown around and almost killed so many times. And it's just like, if you've prepared for this moment your whole life, there shouldn't be a chance for him. It should just be,
she turns on these floodlights and it's like, well, what fucking good are those, really?
No, yeah, exactly, yeah. It's like she should have just like this total like plan in her head of just like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm going to do. There's no way. And instead it's kind of like her plan is just to, well, yeah, she doesn't have much of a plan, and she doesn't seem like some kind of hyper competent killing machine. She basically just sort of makes it through. But no, yeah, okay, I'm happy to say that's the conclusion on the plot.
Okay, yeah. Also, I think in the first one you mentioned a lot of plot holes, and of course, I'd say they're not really holes, they're just like plot
things.
Paths or threads that just don't go anywhere, and that traditionally makes a bad movie, I will say. And yeah, there is quite a lot of those in this movie, but also, Michael, we need to talk about whether this movie is scary.
Yes.
So Michael Myers, but I mean, we talked about him a bit, obviously. So, I mean, the thing is with him killing people, I think it's scarier in the first one. With this one, and especially, I was thinking that when he was killing the girl, the blonde girl,
You mean babysitter?
Yeah, the babysitter.
Yeah.
I was thinking, and obviously then he kills, and I made the joke, it's like poetry, it rhymes, and he kills her boyfriend Dave. And it's like, it is kind of like, that thing from The Simpsons, which is, say the line, Bart. And it's like, go on, Michael Myers, you kill that babysitter who was trying to have sex with her boyfriend. You do that, sneak into their house. And
he has like an existential crisis, like, man, am I just a cliche?
Yeah, am I just a cliche?
My job is to be repetitive. Repetitiveness is my job.
Yeah, and it's just like playing the hits, killing those teenagers, and it's like, yeah, that's what he's doing. And I guess it's good, it's fun to see, but it's at the same time I can't get scared by it because it feels like a moment where you're meant to like clap and cheer instead of like cower behind, your sofa or whatever. It's like, yeah, he did the thing he's meant to do.
I like the idea that Michael Myers has some kind of like heartless, manipulative agent who's like sat there and he's like, "Come on, Michael, we got some kids camping by a lake. Quick!"
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, do I have to?" It's like, "Come on, you bring in the big bucks."
Yeah, I know, but that is what it is. He's just, this is what he does, and that's the thing. It's fine to watch. You can enjoy yourself, but how do you get scared by it? Really, you can't get scared.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had like two separate thoughts on that. At first, I was thinking to myself, like, this Michael Myers is, I actually wrote that he racks up more murders in his first couple of scenes than he does in the original film. And that's definitely true, because like in the first film, as they say, he kills 5 people. I can't think how many scenes it is until he's killed 5 people, but it's not long. I think it's like after he's killed the podcasters, he's already on 5.
He kills 8 in this movie.
Oh really? That seems like lower than I thought, to be honest.
He kills 1, 2, 3.
But he definitely kills
5,
fewer people towards the end.
6. Yeah, I think he kills about 8 people. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but basically he.
Oh no, maybe he kills more.
Yeah.
Because I'm forgetting those people at the gas station.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, exactly. He kills. Yeah. So basically, I mean, he gets his way through like a lot of people, and he comes across. I was thinking. I mean, I wrote down he was more intimidating. I don't know if I necessarily meant that, but I think he comes across as a lot more like just a killing machine in this film than he does in the original film.
Yeah, but is that necessarily more scary?
That's the thing. So I said I had 2 thoughts. And then I wrote, like, towards the end, it's almost like he starts killing too many people, where it's just like, it's kind of just like it becomes less meaningful, I guess. It becomes less powerful.
Just like another one off the list.
Yeah. Also, I mean, on the subject of scariness, because I could say this for the final conversation, but I thought I'd save it for here. I was thinking about the first film. And I was thinking about how, like, I was thinking to myself, the first film, it's just not that scary because I said, like, there's so many moments where the characters do the wrong, I know you don't like this, but I said, like, there's so many moments where the characters do the wrong thing. You just think, well, if I was there, I'd just do the remotely smart thing and I'd be fine. But then I thought to myself, like, obviously it would still be scary if it happened to you. It's just watching it isn't as scary because you're thinking, well, I could avoid it, but obviously it would still be scary if it happened to you. And then I was getting to the end of this film and I actually thought to myself, you know what? I wouldn't even be scared if this was happening to me. Now, specifically, you're going to be like, okay, Michael, it sounds like you're talking a bit crazy there. But I was thinking specifically about when they're in, like, the basement and they've got the shotgun pointed at the one entrance and you've just got Michael Myers, who's just a big, lumbering guy who's very strong, but you know that you're just staring him down with a shotgun. And in that situation, I genuinely think I wouldn't even be scared. I think I'd have adrenaline, obviously, but I'd be like, well, he's just going to appear and I'm just going to unload. Like, I'm literally surrounded by ammunition. And
you know what? I was thinking when he was doing that, I was thinking, well, he doesn't use guns, does he? So
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Why? Yeah, she should have just really stayed, because that's the thing. If he uses guns, then, he could, like, poke through the floorboard and shoot them, but he just uses knives. That's all he does.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not evolved yet to use guns.
No, yeah, exactly. So I was literally, and I mean, to be fair, like, if you're talking about things being scary, I mean, like I say, I kind of thought the original Halloween film, it wasn't really that scary to watch, and yet, even then,
Do you know what the scariest part was of the original Halloween? This is what you complained about, and I said, no, this is the whole point. It was him stalking people. It was him, like, following people. When Laurie's walking down the sidewalk, as they say in America, and Michael Myers just appears behind the hedge, and then, like, she walks up to him and it's like, oh, he's not there. Where did this guy go? And, like, that constant stalking is what made him scary. That was his mojo. That's he was scaring people, and by stalking them, that's what was like. This killer's a bit different. And this one, he doesn't do that, and he's just like a killing machine.
Yeah,
and therefore you do remove that scariness of him. So I know you said you didn't like the stalking in the first one, but I think this proves that the stalking works, Michael.
I mean, see, here's the thing. I'm going to sound like I'm just never satisfied, but genuinely in my head, I'm almost like, it's kind of like it went from one extreme to the other. Because I kind of like, in my head, I'm like, I like a bit of stalking, but like also a bit of kind of just actually being a threat.
No, you were just wrong. You were just wrong about the stalking in the first one.
I don't know. I feel like the thing is, I've seen films that have like kind of, there's that element of like slowly building tension, but then every now and then you actually get the payoff of somebody being killed. Whereas, I don't know, my issue with like the original Halloween was basically that it was kind of like there was a long extended period of stalking, and then all of the deaths are like at the end, and it's kind of like, I don't know, I was just like, I wish they would have had just maybe a few deaths early on to show he's a threat, and then they have stalking.
The one time he does some stalking is at the graveyard when he's looking at his sister. That's it. He doesn't do any more stalking, and the movie is worse off for it.
But I don't know. Yeah, you can't have. Yeah, but I mean, obviously, you can't have. There's definitely a ideal amount of stalking. I feel like I feel like the original Halloween, it just had a little bit too much.
Okay.
I feel like this film had too little.
You know what? Yeah. There's the sense that there's always something spooky about Halloween nights, especially in suburbia, on the suburbs. As you know, every day is regular in the suburbs, and that's what makes the Halloween movie so spooky, and Halloween in general, because it's like, oh, okay, so this nothing happens here every single day apart from Halloween, but on Halloween night, well, things are turned upside down, and the eeriness in the first movie in the suburbs, I felt that was what I really liked about it, and that isn't really there in the second movie because they don't really spend that much time in the suburbs, do they? So yeah, like that's the thing. The first movie was all in the suburb. It was all on this suburban street. This one, of course, the end confrontation takes place in this isolated house,
shack cabin.
Yeah, just in the countryside, I guess. So yeah, you don't get that either, which is that's the thing. There's not it's just not the eeriness in this particular movie, which is a shame. But that's all I got to say. Yeah, not as scary as the first. I think that is for sure. Shall we conclude, Michael?
Yes,
you go first.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, with this film, there's kind of, on the one hand, it's sort of like does its job in some sense, because it's like you watch a slasher film. Well, this film has a lot of slashing. He just slashes his way right through everyone, and in some sense, like with horror movies, I don't expect them to be super interesting and sophisticated, and it's kind of like, in a way, I do think horror films can almost just get by on pure fan service. Like if I watch Saw, I'd give a Saw film a decent rating if it's just decently competent and then has a little bit of gory, violent fan service. And in a similar way, it's kind of like I would say this film is also decently competent and has basically what you would want, which is him stabbing his way through a bunch of people. However, I also said at the beginning that this film certainly doesn't have anything exceptional to it, and exceptional would be, we're talking about films which are like 7 or 8 out of 10. I don't think that really needs to be stressed. There's just nothing exceptional to this film. And obviously this film, it does have bad things in it, but generally speaking, I've kind of got two things to say on the bad things. First of all, there's the stuff which kind of just wasn't paid off or could have been there, which was interesting. And in that case, I would just say that that's what makes the film not exceptional. So kind of, for example, it would have been really cool if they actually had a proper character arc that developed. But to be honest, most horror films don't have that. And if this film did have that, it would have been exceptional, and I would have given this film like a 7 or something. Now, the bit at the end I did just find very stupid. Just the, the whole way that they can't just completely destroy Michael Myers, considering they've supposedly been planning this for ages. That was annoying. And overall, I don't think it was enough to make this film something I wouldn't say overall that I enjoyed as a horror film. So I am going to give it a low 6, which is basically what I thought I was going to give it going into it. And yeah, it's not that I necessarily disagree with your criticisms. It's just, I guess maybe I'm just, well, I was going to say I'm nice to the horror films. Obviously, I was a bit mean to Halloween, but whatever. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, I think this movie is quite bad, honestly. There's a lot of lost potential, I feel like, just with I don't know, potential, but they set stuff up and they just don't, go anywhere with it. Sometimes it's, particularly with the Laurie Strode thing, oh, she's crazy, she's deranged, are you going to pay that off in the second half of the movie, make her realize that, and have Michael Myers not care about her, something like that? No, actually, that whole thing you did in the first bit of the movie, the setup, is actually she is completely correct. Michael Myers was going to kill her, and she was right to fortify her house and train her daughter, and all the sacrifices that she took. Hey, it was worth it in the end. She's vindicated, and that's just a weird the crazy lady was right. So there you go. And again, there's a missed opportunity there. There's a missed opportunity in general with Michael Myers. I guess Michael Myers, does he care about Laurie Strode or not? And if he does, you can do more with that. And if he doesn't, you can do more with it. And in general, the movie wasn't that scary. And the podcasters, but it'd be nice if they survived and we're in the movie a bit more, and that could have been fun. But they die immediately. I did like the twist with the new Dr. Loomis. I did like that. So there's a positive, I guess, from the plot. But the movie, I think, of course, is it scary? No, but it is just a case of like Michael Myers playing the hits. He confronts Laurie Strode at the end, and they have a big battle. Well, big battle. It's not that much of a battle, but that's what you wanted to do, to see if you went to see the movie, and that happens. And of course, also he kills a bunch of people. And like we said, the Sadler Leinbart thing that popped into my head when he was killing the babysitter. That's how it is. And again, I can't feel scared. And also the lack of the suburban eeriness, which I really do like, and I appreciate a lot about the original Halloween film, means that this movie does not compare at all to the original. This movie is quite a lot worse. I gave the original a 7 out of 10. This is only getting a 4 out of 10 for me. This is not a good movie. Just not a good horror movie as well, of course. So, Michael, what do we... first, before we do that...
Oh, receipts.
Receipts, Michael. We've got some receipts. So, No Time to Die. Yes. 84% was the Rotten Tomato score.
Yeah, so you were closer.
Yes, I was closer. So, I guessed 81, you guessed 91, which means I was 3 away, and you were therefore 7 away. So that means my score is now 75. I don't know why the fuck it does that. I really hate Excel when it does that. So you are now on... sorry. No,
Nope.
Oh fuck! I messed up, Michael. Can you believe I messed up? I got your mind scores the wrong way round. I do apologise. No. So you got 7.
What a coincidence!
I got 3, which means your score now is 79, and my score now is 84, which means there is just
5.
5. Yeah, that's right. Just 5 between us. So are you? Are you ready,
it's
Michael?
really intense. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm catching you. So of course we need to guess Halloween kills now.
Yeah.
Halloween kills. Because Halloween does kill. Have you seen the premise, Michael?
No, actually. Are you going to tell me so I can?
Yeah. Well, let's see if you think this is a good idea. Okay. So let me just get it up on the old history because I just checked. So Halloween kills. The premise of Halloween Kills is as follows. After Laurie Strode, her daughter Karen, and granddaughter Allison leave Michael Myers caged in a basement of Laurie's burning house, Michael manages to free himself when the firemen arrive on the scene. Oh wow, what a shock. The Strode women join a group of other survivors that decide to form a mob to hunt Michael.
Okay, that sounds like it. I mean, that sounds okay.
Yeah, decent premise, but of course the premise is not the only thing that matters. So let's guess its Rotten Tomato score, Michael. Halloween Kills. So you got a score lined up in your head?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Right, let's go then. 3, 2, 1.
69.
Oh,
okay.
50. So you think it's going to be 68, and I think it's going to be 59. Yeah. So yeah, somewhere in that range. Let's see what happens. That's quite a big gap. That's a gap of 9. Yeah. So we could see a change in lead here potentially.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I know it is.
But imagine if it was like right in the middle.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the kind of tension we're here for.
I know, right? What are we doing next week, Michael?
Well, there is a bit of a logic, obviously. So we're doing slasher films again. We did slasher films last year too, but might as well stick with the theme because there's lots of them. And this time we're actually working backwards. So we did the Halloween 2018, and next we're actually doing Scream. So from the 1990s.
What is the theme, and why are we doing Scream?
Because Scream's a slasher film.
Okay, great. And is it its 25-year anniversary?
Oh, yes. Wait.
I think so.
Or is it the opposite? I think it might be the other way of 90. I think it's 94.
I thought 96. Scream was 96. No.
Maybe you're right.
Look, I'm looking it up. I'm determined to get this right. Scream movie was 1996. Oh, yes. Get in. That's another win for me. Yeah, I correctly identified this Halloween 2018 as a bad movie.
So it's 25-year anniversary, so I'll have to remember to say that next week.
Yes, and Scream 25-year anniversary. So join us for that next week, and we will be fully getting into the Spooktober vibes. if we're not already. But this movie ain't great, so I'm not really there fully. Hopefully I will be next week. So thank you for listening. We have been selecting and reflecting on Halloween for the upcoming release of Halloween Kills. And yeah, join us next week for Scream. Who have you been, Michael?
I've been Michael.
I've been Luke. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Why did you say it like that?